Welcome to Watches with Dennis, and today I'm going to talk about the new Air King. This would be reference number 126900. I have been out traveling, so Watches and Wonders has been underway with a lot of announcements. I'm going to try and put out videos giving some first thoughts on a few, but not all of these watches, sort of like what I did last year when I started the channel. And preemptively, I will apologize for the sound of my voice. I am a little bit under the weather. But I did want to go ahead and get this video out because I actually, a few videos ago, discussed the idea of a remake of the dial of the Rolex Air King. A lot of viewers did not like my proposed revision, but it seems Rolex did not either, yet they did decide to go ahead and make some adjustments. And there were a lot of rumors going on that the Air King was either going to get some sort of facelift, or what seemed to be the more predominant rumor was that Rolex was going to, at least for a little while, discontinue the Air King. They did not do that, and instead they have moved over from the prior model, which is the reference 116900, to the 126900. Let's go ahead and get through some of the specifics. Like the old version, this remains a 40mm case. In terms of the diameter size, the movement has been upgraded to the 3230. And for those curious, that is a self-winding automatic movement. It's plus or minus 2 seconds per day in terms of accuracy, and it features approximately 70 hours of power reserve. In terms of the new model of Air King versus the old model of Air King, there are three primary differences that I want to focus on. Difference number one is the case. Specifically, there are now crown guards. For those familiar with the 116900, that case was very much akin to what Rolex uses for the Milgauss. And now we have a case which is much more akin to what we see on something like the GMT2. So we've got crown guards in place now. It does give the watch quite a bit of a different look. It's probably the first thing that will stand out to people when they look at the new model versus the old model. Major change number two is the 3, 6, and 9 numerals. On the 116900, those were just white gold without any lume. And on the new model, they are now lumed, much like the Explorer, or what some people call the Explorer 1's current model does. So it provides this new contrast and provides some more, obviously, nighttime legibility. And the third change touches on what a lot of people have been concerned with the prior iteration of the Air King, and that is the asymmetrical look of the dial with the 5-minute mark. So now they have apparently listened to feedback, and they have made that a 0.5. What are my overall thoughts on these changes in the 126900? Let's set the movement aside, because obviously it was a given if this watch was going to continue and get any sort of adjustment, they would probably drop in a new movement, and the new movement is superior to the old movement. There's really nothing to debate about that. In terms of the three aesthetic changes that I have highlighted, I think all three are an improvement. I think having the crown guards on the case makes this much more clearly in the what Rolex calls professional line. I almost call it the sports watch line, but technically even the Datejusts and Oyster Perpetuals are seen as sports watches. But the way Rolex has done it normally is a lot of the quote-unquote professional line watches have had crown guards. They give it that added security, that added feature. I've noted Milgauss was an exception, and that was the case style that the Air King used to use. However, I just think this gives it more of that sporty look, which further distinguishes it from the Oyster Perpetual, which it's always sort of felt like the Rolex Air King historically was just another way to consider doing an Oyster Perpetual. The second change, the addition of the lume. If this is being billed as a pilot watch, then it should be well loomed. And I think it makes a lot of sense to have those very large 3, 6, and 9s loomed. I don't think very many people will complain about them no longer just being the pure white gold. I've read that some people had trouble seeing those against the dark dial color in low light conditions, so this should actually help alleviate that and improve legibility, which again, it is the Air King. If it's taking pilot watch inspiration, we want it to be legible. And then the third change is a gimme. I touched on it on my last video about modifications to the watch. Even though there are plenty of watches out there where the 5-minute marker, if it is declared as a 5-minute marker, and again, I'm sort of talking about things like Type B Fliegers, not having a 0 in front of it is the standard. This is not a Type B Flieger. This was sort of a blend of Type B Flieger with Rolex Explorer. And it always just looked a little weird to have just that one number that didn't have 2 digits. And now they finally addressed it. It brings a great deal more symmetry to the dial. I think everyone knew that. There were plenty of mock-ups online, not just the one I did in my video, showing that you got better symmetry with 2 digits on all of the minute markers, and they have achieved that. So overall, I think every single change they have made to this watch is an improvement. I think it is fair to say that Rolex was by and large only iterative with the Air King, but honestly, compared to the very minute changes they made on the anniversary of the Explorer 2 last year during Watches and Wonders, this is significantly better done, in my view. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Comment below if you've got thoughts. Do you like the new Air King more than the old Air King? Do you still hate it? Were you hoping they just get rid of it? Were you hoping for something more radical? Rolex did have some other announcements that were more radical, namely a left-handed GMT2. I don't know if I'm going to touch on that one or not, perhaps at some point, but there are a lot of other brands that have been putting out watches lately, and I'm way behind from all my work stuff that I had to go take care of. But otherwise, I'll just say if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like. It does help my channel out. And otherwise, if you want to be notified when I have new videos, just click the subscribe button. YouTube takes care of the rest. Everybody, have a great day.